Good morning, afternoon and evening all. This is Yorkie, I hope you're doing well. Now, I'm pretty sure anyone who's played one of the 3 previous F1 titles has played the game some point online, and their main experience has been something like this. Kind of getting shunted round by rammers, getting rammed up the rear, sending you straight on, and possibly even dishing out some yourself. Be a pretty poor experience for a lot of people, so I've decided to create this new tutorial series called Racing 101, which will hopefully improve not only your own driving but everyone else's, and therefore hopefully improve the experience that you have racing wheel to wheel with other fellow drivers. So for this first episode, we're going to be looking at awareness. For some reason, this seems to be something that a lot of people lack, whether it's a lack of knowledge of the game and the world of F1, or they just don't generally care about the other cars around them. So we're going to take a quick look at what you can use to help improve your awareness of other drivers around you. The most simple one is looking behind. You can see whatever cars are trailing you, catching up to you, and you can also see a little bit to your left and the right of the car, and see if any cars are approaching your inside or outside. You then also have looking left and looking right. The controls for this vary depending on the peripheral that you're using, whether it's a keyboard, steering wheel, or a controller. Make sure to check the controller options to see which buttons or which analog sticks allow you to use this feature. I find this extremely useful, especially when a car isn't quite behind you but is to the side, yet you can't see him in either looking forward or looking behind. A quick glance over to the right or to the left to see where the position of the car is relative to you can be very helpful in improving your awareness and then taking action to avoid contact or make an overtaking or defensive manoeuvre. We then also have proximity arrows, which are highlighted in the blue circles on this screenshot. They show a car's rough position relative to you. The further back they are, the less white arrows show up. The closer they are, the more white arrows show up. As you can see here in the screenshot, all 3 parts of the arrow are fully white. This means that both cars on both my left and also my right hand side are very close to my car. Whilst these are very useful features, they're obviously not as good as looking around or behind the car itself. So here's an example under race conditions. The car behind me is relatively close coming out the final turn of Bahrain and has DRS on me on this straight. I'm looking behind me to see how close he is relative to my car and whether I need to go defensive into turn 1. He looked quite far back, so I don't need to. As we come into the first corner, proximity arrows fill up rather quick. Using that, I realise that the guy is coming up really fast down my inside, and I end up having to turn out of the corner to avoid making contact. He gets to place, but as we come into turn 4, he outbrakes himself and goes a little bit deep. I come underneath him, and once again the proximity arrows show up. Quickly glance over to my left to see where he is, and realise that I'm pretty much alongside, if not slightly ahead, and have the inside line for the corner getting the move done. Using these features and having that awareness just generally adds to the respect that people around you will have. People tend to give out what they're given. If you bump into someone, they'll bump you back. If you give space, they'll give you space back. People don't realise it, but there's actually quite a lot of power that you have in your own hands to avoid contact and also avoid getting rammed. If you see a car close to yours, give him room. If the cars come flying up your inside, don't turn in, straighten up the wheel, turn once he's flying past. You never know, you might make a mistake in the next corner, which will give you back the place that you just lost. You should always leave at least one car width when going offensive or defensive. Here's an example of me going defensive. I made a horrible mistake coming into that turn there, and I got dirt all over my tyres. I got very fast approaching Sauber, he's gone to the inside. I give him the room on the apex, he gave slightly more than a car width, and he got the move done. But I'm now under pressure from a second car, McLaren, coming up behind. He's pretty much alongside me, so I have to give him room on the inside, and he's got the move pretty much done into this turn. I had to turn out a little bit to avoid making contact, and once again I'm having to go defensive now from a third car. This time I've got a little bit more time to think about it, so I move to the inside, showing where my intentions are to defend. He goes straight on, makes a mistake, I manage to retain a place. And here's an example of me going on the offensive. It's the last lap of Bahrain, and we're coming down to the final corner. I'm slipstreaming this Williams, and I pull out, wanting to make a move into the braking zone. I give him room on the outside, just come into the braking zone, and he kind of pulls back a little bit, so I give him room on the outside once again, but we're getting the move done nice and cleanly. This is just the first, but probably the most crucial step in improving your racing experiences. Going wheel to wheel with other drivers is a hell of a lot of fun, especially when you leave each other room and there isn't any contact made. I often find myself grinning from ear to ear in these moments, almost giggling my head off as we drive side by side through multiple corners or in very close proximity to each other, as me and Alex do so here. There are a number of aspects of racing that I want to cover throughout these tutorial series, so hopefully you guys will stick around for that. I also hope that you guys enjoyed this first instalment. This all may seem very simple and pretty much common sense, but being an avid online F1 2012 player and doing an awful lot of online races, I would have said about 75% of the people that I go up against don't put these theories into practice, but hopefully this will change in the future. So that concludes the first episode of Racing 101. Please feel free to leave a rating, also leave any comments or questions below, and of course don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more F1 content in the future. I hope to see you soon guys, take care.